Joan Guzman of the Dominican Republic. Perfect record and an equally daunting reputation as a puncher, but the big question here, could his power travel up with him all the way to super featherweight? The opponent in this 10-rounder, Joe Morales, a one-time world title challenger himself and used to mixing in high-class company. Back to Jim and Ian.
Well, Joan Guzman has been involved in a huge row ahead of this non-title fight. He was due to be fighting for the WBO Super Bantamweight title here, defending it, but he came in 6.5 pounds over the limit. Can you believe that? Claiming he didn't know it was a title fight. I find that very, very hard to believe. Due to fight Marcos Licona, that fight went out of the window. Here at 24 hours notice, he's in a 10-rounder with Joe Morales up at super featherweight. You can't credit it. You couldn't write this, Jim.
Nah, I think he's known quite some time ago he wasn't making the weight. You have to wonder, will he ever make super bantamweight again? But whereas some fighters invent a sore back and get a postponement or a call-off, he's decided to come along with a new one. See, he didn't know it was supposed to be a title fight. That's a beauty, but you have to expect him to be strict.
Funny, he knew it was a title fight through all the press conferences when they were talking about it. Anyway, he's an exciting fighter at his best. Guzman in the red trunks here, Joan Guzman from the Dominican Republic. Either he can't get near 122 pounds anymore, or his training regime is a total shambles. Draw your own conclusions. Good right hand from Morales there.
The fact that he's missed the weight by so much suggests, you know, maybe he didn't realise, but I mean, I find it very difficult to believe that. You can see the power, the natural strength he has already.
Morales doing well here. He went 10 rounds, the full 10 rounds recently, with the WBC's #1 featherweight, the very talented Rocky Juarez. That's not a bad bit of form. And if he was in shape and in the gym, maybe he can give Guzman a bit of a test here, particularly, remember, as Guzman is fighting at a higher weight than usual.
Well, Guzman has the reputation of being a bit of a wild man, but he's looking very controlled here. Like a real good solid pro, slipping punches as you can see, coming back with counters, good solid jabs, the body work is good. This is impressive stuff. Punches coming back his way, but impressive punches of his own. Good
first round this one, and Morales holding his own. Great right hand again from Guzman, who has a habit of blowing people away at 122 pounds, and these are quite big hooks. Morales takes them. He's had to take too many really in this first round. Can't go on like that. He's trying to fight fire with fire, but you wonder how fit is he coming in so late as well.
Yeah, good mixture of punches from Guzman as well, switching from body back up to head. Good solid jab there. Got a little bit of everything. Not the wild man I was expecting.
Oh, uppercut as well from him. Guzman, who won the WBO Super Bantamweight title in Cardiff on a Joe Calzaghe bill against Fabio Olivar. He blew him away too. It's looked good in this opening round. To the Glendale Arena near Phoenix in Arizona. Good atmosphere here. Second round. Joan Guzman, the WBO Super Bantamweight champion, in a non-title fight up at super feather here with Joe Morales. He's only been stopped once, by the way, in 7 years, and that was when he challenged the excellent Joel Casamayor for the WBA title. No shame in that, really. He's a competent operator, as he showed in lasting the distance with Rocky Juarez.
Yeah, well, they haven't done him too many favours in his career. There's quite a few names on his ticket, but he's brought in tonight, obviously, to put up a show, not expected to win, and he certainly did that in the first round. Took some tremendous punches, still looks as though he fancies the job.
The name is Joe Morales, though, not Eric Morales. He's no relation, comes from San Antonio, Texas, this fellow. He's been a controversial figure, has Guzman, surrounded by management and promotional rows, and has made only one defence of his world title in 2 years. All kinds of allegations swirling around about him.
Well, he's walking Morales down here, but not getting the punches off quickly enough. So Morales getting some jabs off. Good right hand from Guzman.
Good stuff from Morales as well there, though. He got him with a body punch. This is going to be difficult for him. I suppose the question is whether Guzman's power travels up a couple of weights with him here.
Yeah, but the fact he's pushing Morales back, he doesn't have to worry too much about the punches coming his way.
Behind the head. No.
He's been warned for a rabbit punch which didn't look intentional.
The intrigue surrounding Guzman has been further complicated by the fact that the WBO's president, Paco Valcarcel, has been charged with an alleged rape in the Dominican Republic, Guzman's home country. He claims, the WBO president, that he's been framed in all that. Whether that's all connected with the Guzman rows, we have no idea, but there are many stories going around about the whole thing on the internet, which is very intriguing.
See, again, we have in the last minute of the round is usually when the quality starts to take over, and that's what's happening again. Quiet for the first couple of minutes, but I think Morales has been giving as good as he's been getting in this round. Over the 3 minutes, he's been doing well. Guzman left it a little bit late, and we actually see him backing off here, which is a surprise. Good work from Morales.
Good stuff this from Morales, who's come here really trying to make a bit of a name for himself against a big name opponent. He might do it. Good undercard fight, this one. Main support, the red trunks, Joan, Guzman, the man who calls himself Little Tyson, but weighing in 6.5 pounds over the super bantamweight limit. I think we'd have to call him not so Little Tyson now, Jim.
Yeah, I wonder if the truth will ever come out about that story. I think it was a little bit too casual in the second round. I think he wants to be a bit more business-like as he was in the first. Yep, he seems to have stepped up a gear already.
And he might be weighing 6.5 pounds over the limit, but still he's a natural super bantam fighting a natural super featherweight. Good left hand from Guzman there.
That one was right on the button. Full credit to Morales for taking that one. That was a beauty.
Yeah, he's got a bit of resilience, I think, this fellow, Joe Morales. And the promoter owes him a big debt of gratitude, coming in as late as this and putting on a show as good as this so far.
I mean, he looks in decent shape, so you have to wonder he was obviously training for another job.
Well, maybe he knew this might happen. And further out than we all heard about. Oh, I'm getting cynical. Oh, great right hand. That one buckled him. Great shot from Guzman there. Morales is in trouble, going through a crisis on those ropes.
Well, that's what having a good chin is all about. Taking a full-blooded shot, then rocked, and your head clearing almost immediately. He's coped with that punch wonderfully well. You can see a real good, solid pro Morales.
Well, these are the punches that have got rid of 17 of Guzman's 21 victims at his natural weight, well inside schedule. But Morales is somehow taking them.
And even when Morales was stopped by Casamire, he was on his feet, he was just being banged about. Never punch again.
He's working him over at the moment, trying to pick the shots. Guzman is an exciting operator, no matter what stories swirl around about him out of the ring. And look at the face of Morales now. It's a bit busted up from all of this. He throws every punch like he means it, doesn't he?
Well, this is what a difference in 2 rounds. He came out only half at it in the previous round. Suddenly he puts the pedal to the floor, and we see the class. Not quite as controlled as he was in the first round, a little bit wilder, but these are powerful punches he's throwing.
If he stops this guy, Joe Morales, becomes only the second man to do it, albeit Morales being a late sub, he would be an exciting addition to the feather or super featherweight divisions. It's good to watch. Look at these hooks. That one doesn't land cleanly, the uppercut did.
See, Morales knows how to duck and dive and just keep his chin that fraction away, but he took some full-blooded shots in that round.
This is the 4th round. Red trunks, remember, of Joan Guzman. By the way, the man who was scheduled to be his world title opponent, Marcus Licona, was sent packing, getting only a quarter of the purse he was supposed to get, some $35,000. He went away with about $8,000 for his trouble. So, I don't know. It's not good enough, is it really?
No, it's all wrong. There's so many things happening that shouldn't be happening. What you have to worry with these good, solid old pros, if you run out of steam. We don't know if Guzman's in the best of shape. I mean, he's looking fantastic. He's had 2 real dominating rounds out of the 3. But if he's not in the best of shape and this fellow's still around after a few rounds, he could start looking bad. Don't see him losing tonight. But you can see again, he's dropped the pace here. Maybe leaving it until the second half of the round to get really down to work again.
Well, he's looked in a hurry to get the job done quickly. Did in the first round and again in the third. Maybe the corner thinking, well, he might have to pace this a little bit because this fellow's taking this.
Yeah, well, he's landed his best punches. It's not as though they've been glancing blows. He's been full-blooded shots bang onto the chin, and this fellow hasn't gone down. He's still there and he's still coming back at him. So signs are, I mean, an experienced corner man will say, make the punches count. Don't use up too much steam for no reason.
A little bit quieter so far in this round, Guzman, but he does look a good fighter. The sort of fighter you want to see a little bit more of. Let's hope all the promotional and management problems surrounding him do eventually clear themselves up. Tell you what, he's a cracking story one way and another.
Yeah, never a dull moment, that's for sure. Getting close again. Morales is maybe a little bit negative. He's not doing enough to win rounds. He should be trying to exploit these little quiet spells of Guzman. But who can blame him? He's come in at the last minute. Just doing a good job here.
Well, he's had a couple of good wins in his career, Morales, as well. Beat the former WBU champion, Carlos Contreras, stopping him. And he beat the former WBA Super Bantamweight champion, Antonio Sameno of Venezuela, on point. So that's useful form, and that's not a bad right hand either from Morales, in the blue trunks, remember.
Guzman again, just a little bit too casual in his approach, been caught in the way in. Still throwing the better punches, but not quite as many in this round.
Quietest round so far, the 4th. But he's done well here, I think, Joe Morales. Sterling effort from him. 24-hour sub, and giving Guzman a little bit of a test, as much as he can anyway. Going into round 5, and this guy Guzman, in the past, you know, Jim, he's knocked a couple of opponents worryingly cold in the ring. They've been sparked for 5-10 minutes in there.
Yeah, well, you can see the natural power. He's so heavy-handed, especially when he gets his body weight coming forward. But this fella does have a tremendous chin, and full credit to him. He's not spoiling, he's not hiding, he's not clinching up close. He's making a go of it.
Still think Guzman would be better off getting himself down at least to featherweight, where the power would obviously have more effect. I don't think he's going to see Super Bantam again, do you? Not if he can't get to within half a stone of it at a weigh-in.
No, I don't think so, and obviously we don't believe the story. He's just taking a shot himself.
Oh, right hand, clubbing, horrible shot around the temple. Morales takes that as well, and body punches too, and then a right hand gets through. He's trying to cover up. A lot of punches coming in here, so many of them. Look at this, an absolute fusillade. Not all hitting, but a lot are. Too many from Morales' point of view. He needs to punch back, otherwise the ref's going to step in here.
See, I think that was a little pro dodge from Guzman. They weren't all solid punches, but I think he was trying to entice the referee in. The referee hasn't come in, so he used up a lot of steam there, so I hope he is in the best of shape. That was a good shot. It'd have been better just dropping the pace and picking the punches. I think he just tried to con the referee in there. Good experience move, but these are better shots now.
It's pretty good action, this as well. Guzman always fights like he's got a train to catch. He looks like he wants to take your head off with every shot, doesn't he?
Well, I think there he had him pinned on the ropes, he had him hooked. I think he should have stepped back and really put full power into every shot.
Whatever they're paying Morales isn't enough. And I hope he's getting a good whack as well. He deserves it for the effort he's putting up here. Good right hand again. What a lot of pride this guy's got. What a lot of bravery and courage.
He's beginning to sag a little bit with the punches now, which is an alarming sign.
He just will not lie down. He will not accept the natural order of things in here.
He's still not looking to hide, still not looking to clinch. He's standing there, trying to make a fight of it.
Do you know, I reckon really in the back of his mind he's thinking, what a chance this is for me. If I can somehow weather this storm, maybe if this fella's not in shape, I can get him late.
Well, that's what you're always worried about. I said that earlier with these old pros. They know how to do the rounds, they know how to pace themselves. He's not looking to try and win anything at the moment. That can be his only plan. I think when he came into the ring, he was thinking, put up a show, see the rounds. But for the first little sign of Guzman, maybe not as fresh as he should be. Heavy-handed, but I think he was trying maybe to con the referee. A lot of referees would have stepped in and stopped it there. But this referee, a brave referee as you say, he stood off, and Guzman used up a lot of steam in that little exchange.
And here we go with round 6. It's due to be a 10-rounder. Somebody 3 rows back wants to wave to us on television. There's always one, isn't there? There's Jim's card.
You see round 3 and I scored at 10-8, although there were no knockdowns, but it was such a big round for Guzman. I think it deserved a 10-8. He really totally dominated it from start to finish.
But he's fighting in spurts, Guzman, and that might be a clue to the fact that he feels the need to just pace himself here and there. He's, I think like the rest of us, marvelling at the fact that Joe Morales is still there somehow in front of him.
See, I don't think Guzman expects to land clean punches and the other fellow's still standing there looking at him. I think this is a first for Guzman. Maybe in some fights he's difficulty finding the target, but once he does, the fight's over, then he's done it again. And this fellow is still here.
Getting careless as well, Guzman, dropping his gloves. Is that a sign of tiredness as well? And getting hit by some. Just quite prepared to stand and trade, almost saying to Morales, well, I don't mind these, I can take those, as long as I can wing you with a few. But I don't know, it's not that convincing, is it?
Well, the punches are good. I mean, he's becoming a little bit sloppy. He's maybe wild as I was expecting him to be, but I just think he's shocked. He's landed his best punches, and this fellow is still here and not looking too much worried about it.
Still think it's appalling what he and his camp did to Marcus Licona, who prepared for a world title fight, fully expecting to have one until the weigh-in, only to find that Guzman claims that there wasn't a title fight all along and is half a stone nearly over. It's a disgrace, that.
Yeah, well, normally if a fighter doesn't make the weight, the guy still box, and they strip the champion, and if the challenger wins, he's the champion, but with £6 it's just too much.
As far as I know, he still has the title, Guzman. It's Licona who should be fighting tonight, and Guzman should have been told to go home with no money. But it's good to watch him, I have to say that. Right hand, wings in again. He's an exciting operator, all right. Right hand again from Morales. Guzman again careless defensively. He doesn't seem to care, does he?
No, but he obviously has a good chin. Morales is not a massive puncher, but it's amazing with the punishment he has shipped, he can still produce this work.
Just to underline your point, he isn't a puncher. He's only stopped 4 men in 27 fights, Morales. Light hitter, pea shooter, puncher. Somehow, Joe Morales, the late substitute, is still there. By the way, if you're late joining us, Costiasiu blew away Shambe Mitchell in 3 rounds in a sensational performance in the big World Light Welterweight clash which tops this bill. More reflections on that later.
Morales becoming a little bit of a nuisance to Guzman tonight. I think he's shocked that he's still there. Now he's annoying him with a jab.
Guzman goes quiet again, just conserving himself, fighting in spurts. But when they do come, they're pretty vicious spurts.
Stop.
Has the tape come loose on the glove? No, just a little flap, which the referee sorted out. Called a truce here for a moment, Joan.
Yeah, well, in a couple of the rounds, Guzman has just been nice and steady for the first minute or so, then goes to work. He's been caught with the jab, just little flicks. And I know the judges over here are not really impressed with fighters who just use the jab. But Morales, I feel credit to what he's doing, keeping himself in there.
He must have been getting ready for a fight for some time, I would say. Whether it was actually this one is open to question.
Yep, and he's just slipped a nice little uppercut in there. A surprise for Guzman. This is Guzman's laziest round so far.
Good right hand. Morales is winning this round at the moment on that jab, and he's getting a bit more confident. Life pumped back into the legs. Starts to enjoy it again.
An actual look of confidence in Morales' work. Just carefully doesn't walk on to one, but this is the best at what he's produced. This is what we said earlier. These old pros who can do the distance, if they're still there after 5 or 6 rounds, they can start giving you major problems.
Guzman goes walkabout. He's clocked off for 3 minutes there. Not enough power though, Morales, to really get to him in his periods of ascendancy. That's his problem here, or one of his many problems.
But this is actually a big round for Morales, and we didn't think we'd be saying that. The fight has turned around. He's not in any trouble, obviously, but he's turned this thing around.
That's Morales' round, and no doubt about it. Well, who'd have thought this fight would last this long in those early rounds when Guzman was unleashing those vicious punches and Morales was covering up on the ropes. Red trunks, remember, the overweight super bantamweight champion Joan Guzman, and Joe Morales, his non-title opponent here in this 10-rounder. Remember, Morales only stopped once. We thought he might be a bit resilient, and he's proved exactly that.
Yeah, I'll always remember Jack Solomon's years ago was famous for saying his replacements were tougher than the original, and that may be shaping up as the case tonight. I mean, considering this fella's come in virtually in the day of the fight almost, it's amazing the show he's putting up.
Unless, of course, they knew that Guzman was never going to make the weight, and they'd warned him that he might suddenly be ushered in 3 weeks ago.
Are they being too cynical or what?
No. Good left hand from Guzman, who's decided now, I think he's going to just pace this and realises he has to get through the 10 rounds. If that is the scheduled distance, maybe he'll come on strong again when he can see the finishing tape. And he really gets some leverage, doesn't he, into those hooks. You can see why he was almost a force of nature in some of his fights at super bantamweight, where Oscar Larios, by the way, is the man regarded by most as the #1 in the world. You might remember Larios, the fighter who got robbed, as Michael Brody did, against Willie Hareen.
I just wonder if Larios is much better than Guzman, because he really looks the part. If he can make the weight, he's got a chance with any of them. But I think maybe his pride's been stung in the previous round. He's a little bit busier here, but still not showing the form of the early rounds.
Well, I think there's no doubt about it. He hasn't come in tip-top shape, has he?
No, and he's probably seriously underestimated Morales' resilience as well. I mean, the work he put in the first 3 or 4 rounds, he must have fancied an early stoppage, and this guy is still there, still with plenty in the tank.
And Morales now able to just work behind his jab and almost getting the quiet life. Storm's blown itself out, hasn't it?
Yeah, well, he's on the back foot, and this fella doesn't have the power to push him onto the back foot, but he's still boxing well on the back foot. He's using the jab well. A little bit of a boxing exhibition from Guzman there.
Well, Joe Morales has come back a little bit in this fight. He needed to. He would have been quite a way behind. Guzman in the red trunks. Joe Morales, no relation to Eric Morales, who's in the big fight soon with Marco Antonio Barrera, their 3rd meeting. Watch it in 3 weeks' time. This time on a Sunday on Sky Sports.
Morales beginning to come forward a lot more. Guzman doesn't seem to have the strength to push him back the way he was doing earlier. Still getting pinned on that jab to Guzman.
Only 2 men have ever taken him this far, Jim. Adel Ruiz, that was a 12-round points decision for Guzman, and the other one Armando Guerrero, who lasted the full 10 with him. He'd won 13 fights inside 2 rounds, 13 out of 21 going into this one, Guzman. But of course he is up against a naturally bigger man here, and it's showing. Just not the same snap or sharpness about Guzman now, and you just wonder, in with a better fighter than this tonight, whether he might have been found out.
Yeah, well, in with more of a puncher, possibly. The trouble with Morales, a tremendous chin, but doesn't have the power to go with that.
Just poking out the punches at times now, Guzman, and Morales getting a comparatively easy ride late on. My goodness me, he's had to come through some pretty heavy bombardment though early on in the fight to get this far, and he probably deserves this. That was a low one, yeah. One more and I'm going to take a point up, I think was the referee's word there.
A good left hook. See, that is the quality shots are really coming from Guzman. When he sets down to work, you can see the difference in class. These are good shots.
Good left hook, twice over, 3 times, and 1 to the body as well. 4th time. Suddenly he springs back to life. I've had enough of this coasting, he says. I've had enough of a rest. And here I come again. That one just seemed to splay the legs momentarily of Morales. He's all right.
That was a little bit of class we saw there from Guzman. Just sparked into life and showed what he's capable of. A little lazy spell, then he comes back with that. That was real quality stuff.
Look at the way he's just dropping his arms down by his side as well, Guzman.
Yeah, I think he feels the job is done, to be honest.
Well, he might be right about that, Joan Guzman. He is a real puncher at his weight, maybe not at higher weights. Be an interesting opponent, wouldn't he, though, for somebody like Juan Manuel Marquez at featherweight? I'd be interested in that, wouldn't you?
Yeah, well, you can see he is a quality performer. He has all the moves, his defensive boxing is good, and he certainly has the power. I don't think we only have to look at his record for the power, but this guy is amazingly tough. I mean, he's been caught right on the button so often, full-blooded shots, but he takes them, he's hurt, and his head clears instantly. Tremendously tough.
What about Guzman v Morales? Should Eric Morales come through his next fight with Barrera?
Well, Morales against anybody, but maybe I'd rather see Guzman against a better opponent before I fully make my mind up about him, and before I would put him in with Eric Morales.
final round of this one. And Joe Morales has done very well. 30 years of age, coming in here with a 19-8 record. There's a handy lead for Guzman. He has to have that, doesn't he? Doesn't tell the whole story, though. And a lot of the story here happened at the weigh-in. A weigh-in in which Morales was not involved, in which Marcus Lacona, the original opponent, found out he wasn't to get his world title fight, having prepared long and hard for it.
Now, I think if they want any credibility, they have to strip Guzman. I mean, you would imagine they have it on contract. If not, then he's got a story. But you can imagine a world title fight, they must have signed a contract.
Well, these are not great days, are they, for the WBO? When you think about the farce we had to watch with Scott Harrison and Samuel Kebede last week, the 59 seconds. Kebede nowhere near good enough, shouldn't have been in anybody's top 10. Needs to be an inquiry about that one, I think.
Yeah, I think Guzman has settled down to the fact that this one's going the distance. I think he settled down to that a few rounds ago, just putting on a little bit of an exhibition. He obviously feels, he agrees with me, that he's got it in the bag.
Bit of a kidney punch went in, I think, from Morales there. And Guzman, I think, knows Morales can't really hurt him, doesn't have the power. So he's dropping his gloves from time to time. He's gone lazy in the fight, to be honest with you, just settled for the fact that he is going to go points. He's always had it pretty much under control.
Well, I mean, he has landed his best shots at countless amounts of times, and this fellow's still there, so I think it's justifiable just to say, well, this one's going the distance, just get the job done.
Remember, Joel Casamayor, who's not noted as a huge puncher, did stop Joe Morales, the only man to do so. More the technical type, really, Casamayor. So, I don't know, what does that say about Guzman's power if he is going to become a super featherweight? At this weight, I mean.
But I don't think it was power that stopped him. Yeah, I think it was just the fact he was being completely outclassed. He was still on his feet, but really getting beaten up badly. I don't know that anybody can knock this fellow out. It's a tremendous chin.
Done well here. Bit of a show-saving effort this from Joe Morales, who's going to lose this fight by the look of things, but will emerge, I think, with a lot of ringsiders and hardened professionals as a bit of a hero of the night. That's a win for Guzman. It's got to be ratified officially, of course. But he's won that handily. Non-title win. Whatever happens to his WBO Super Bantamweight title, we wait to hear. Frankly, he should be stripped of it. But he might have a future at a slightly higher weight. Well done, Joe Morales. Well done indeed.
Yeah, fairly lopsided. You can see Morales on my card there, nicked a couple of rounds, but he was always on the defensive, always just really surviving. But what a wonderful job he did of it. Full credit to him.
Well, we've had a few.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 10 rounds of action, we have a unanimous decision. Here are the score totals. Judge at ringside, Gerald Maltz, scores the bout 97 to 93. Judge Chris Wilson sees it 98 to 92. And Raul Cais Jr. scores the bout 99 to 91. All three in favor of the winner. And still undefeated, Joan Little Tyson Guzman.
Yeah, points decision. One of the judges gave Morales 3 of the rounds, must have been towards the end. Guzman remains unbeaten, 17 inside the distance, but one way and another, not that convincing.
Weight, allegedly.
Yeah. Yes.
Do you ever see him going back down again?
No way. In fact, I'd be very surprised if he even makes featherweight. I think he can make featherweight, but he's so big and strong and really gung-ho, goes in there and throws a natural puncher, takes shots to actually deliver his own shots, but a tremendously natural puncher, very, very powerful indeed, and would be a great asset to the featherweight division. You imagine him in with Pacquiao, Marquez.
That would be fantastic. But it is shades of Ricky Hatton here. Whatever title you want to brand somebody with, you know, he's in danger of making himself a man man to avoid, isn't he?
Without a doubt, what a puncher. He really, you know, goes for broke and puts everything in his punches, and you know, he did well to keep up the pace, to be honest, because me and Barry were discussing, you know, he went so flat out 100 mile an hour, and when he didn't get Morales out of there, we thought he may be in for a tough night. Can he keep it up? But to his credit, he did.
Guzman is good, but there's no getting away from it. Costa Tszyu is the man who's given us a performance to remember. Tszyu is the man who's given us a performance to remember.
In a week dominated in America by the battle of the political heavyweights, boxing gives you a fight for supremacy in the hottest, most intriguing, most talented division in boxing, the light welterweights.
Well, as expected, Mitchell looking that little bit sharper.
Nice fast left hand as well, establishing those punches early.
That's a good left hook from Tszyu.
And a right as well. He'll definitely have the extra power. Just a little bit worried there as the heads clashed.
That looked like the clash there. Yeah, that was a bad clash, purely unintentional.
There's a right hand, and that just wobbled Mitchell a little bit. That went through to his knees, that one.
Well, Mitchell needed a good start, and he's not having one. This is Tszyu's kind of fight. He's got him in serious trouble here.
Big trouble. Doesn't know where he is and has to go down. Cumulative effect of those punches. Mitchell in trouble here in round 2. Oh, there's another right hand. Decking Mitchell in round 3. This could be over soon the way it's going. There's another right hand. Now the body punches. He's just working him over in there, and the referee diving in here, and he'll have to take another count because the ropes were keeping him up. Down again.
Well, I don't know if Mitchell has ever come back from this kind of disaster in a fight. He's a great on-top fighter, and on top he certainly is not tonight.
Down again, and it's over! The thunder from down under, indeed. Costa Tszyu, what a return! That's why he's the world #1.